Good afternoon. I am Professor Lambeau on YouTube, and I'll be giving you this presentation on food additives that are banned outside of the United States. So this is the meme that inspired me to make this video, and it says if a child eats all of the food that's pictured here, they could have some neurological injuries, which could lead to more problems down the line and also more health risks with their actual body, not just their brain. So I think we all know the United States and other countries don't always agree about what kind of chemicals should be allowed in food. Pesticides, preservatives, food dyes, they're all that kind of stuff is found in food in the United States, but not other countries. Which it wouldn't be a big deal because countries don't always agree on things. Canada isn't always going to agree with the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom isn't always going to agree with Japan, and so on and so forth. The real problem here is that the United States consistently has so many more chemicals in our food than any other country, even when dozens of countries have banned the same chemicals that are in the foods. The reason for this is because the FDA gives a lot of leeway when it comes to what chemicals companies can use, not only in the food, but in the packaging for the food. So the FDA problem. The FDA allows food companies to sell chemicals and food additives without oversight or approval as long as the substance is generally recognized as safe by qualified experts. This is known as a GRAS system, generally recognized as safe. It is limited to the substance intended conditions of use. So if it was a food additive that isn't supposed to be heated to, let's say, 350 degrees, then it would be in a food that was not heated to 350 degrees. The problem with this is that these qualified experts are often not actually actual experts, or they're just backed by the companies that are trying to use the tested chemicals. Just like these advertisements in the right, where doctors up until the mid-1950s were saying that cigarettes were healthy, and this cigarette helps you lose weight, and this cigarette's better for pregnant women. It's the same system. These so-called experts are getting money from these companies so these companies can continue to put harmful chemicals in food in the United States. So next I'm just going to go through some of the additives that are in our food in the United States why they were banned in other countries. So potassium bromate and azodicarbonide, um, they're both substances used to improve the strength and texture of bread dough. They are used in Best Choice and Gomez and a few other brands. I did look up Nature's Own and Bunny, and I couldn't find these two substances used in those. So that's a good thing. But in any case, these two are banned in the EU, China, Canada, and a few more for causing respiratory problems. BHA and BHT is used to preserve cereals, dry mixes, and potato products, as well as much, much more. You can see here just some of the pictures that it's used in. This is from My Superhero Foods. You can see down below it's also used in like lotions and gum, sausages, all kinds of stuff. And like this picture says, it strongly leads to hormone misfunction and then diseases like cancer. Then it's banned in a lot of countries. Next is synthetic food dyes, which is probably one of the most commonly used or known problems in the United States. Most people are familiar with these, particularly this ABCD that I have listed down here. And you can see in the picture what colors they are and where they're found. Primarily found in junk foods, soft drinks, sugary cereals, that kind of thing. But you can see down at the bottom, like canned peas, vegetables, fish, or up at the top, canned fruits. So these dyes are all over the place. Um, they're banned and regulated in different countries for leading to tumors, hyperactivity, neurological problems, cancer, and allergies. So they are a serious problem. And here's a picture with just some of the products containing these synthetic food dyes. And it is also important to note that these are synthetic food dyes. If they were real food dyes and not synthetic, Other countries would allow them. Other countries allow actual food dyes, their natural food dyes in their foods currently. The problem is in the United States that these synthetic ones are just a little bit cheaper. So companies say, no, we would rather poison people than pay a little bit more money. And that's where we're at. So next is genetically modified organisms, or GMOs. These are also one of the most commonly known ones. Primarily, they're used to make crops resistant to herbicides and keep crops living instead of being eaten by insects and things like that. And they're used by a few different companies. These are banned and or heavily regulated in a lot of different countries for causing diseases such as cancer. Beyond that, there's ractopamine, which is a muscle enhancer, basically steroids for pigs, cows, turkeys, chickens. And you can see here, this picture shows the difference of a size of a chicken from 1957 to 2005, and it is a significant difference. Moving forward, ractopamine is banned in 122 countries for heart issues in humans and behavioral changes, which is insane that you would think, here is this chemical that is banned in 122 countries, and the United States says, no, it's fine, we're going to keep using it. And then there's synthetic hormones, RBHG and RBST, and these are used in dairy cows to increase milk production. And it's banned in the EU and Canada for harm to cows. They get a lot of infections from these, and then increased risks of cancer in human beings. Here's a little bit of good news. Artificial trans fats were banned in the United States in 2020 for causing heart disease, but a lot of companies just replace the artificial trans fats with palm oils, which also may lead to cancer, but that's undetermined. A handful of companies are moving away from using some of these chemicals. For example, Tyson stopped using that steroids for their chickens, so that was kind of a win. And then in addition, the organic options are out there. If you go to your local supermarket, it doesn't have to be like a bougie, really nice supermarket. It can just be a regular one that you typically have an organic section. And I know, at least where I'm from, shopping organic has a little bit of a stigma to it. You seem kind of dumb, but it is like actually legitimately healthier for you. And then you'd be voting with your wallet in that instance. And if companies see that we're not buying food with red dye 40 in it, then they'll probably stop using red dye 40. And then in addition, avoiding additives is pretty easy. Not only can you just buy the organic foods, but if you want to know if it has these additives in it, you just look at the ingredients label. It's on everything. Here's the example of M&Ms I found. It's just a very long list of all the synthetic food dyes that are in it, compared to the Canadian label, which has like one thing and it just says color. And then finally, we can change the way things are. Like I was saying earlier, you can vote with your wallet. You can make it known that you're not going to buy things with these terrible preservatives and additives. And then you can also vote for politicians who support that. In addition to that, I would encourage you to educate your friends and your family. You don't have to share this video over the whole world, but just tell them to be on the lookout for these red dyes and these companies that are abusing these animals for their benefit, and abusing us for that matter. To summarize, I am Professor Lambeau on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.